Welcome to Open Minds, Open Mic, the place to be on a Friday night. We have a very special delight for you by way of a feature from Carl Kaucher. Kaucher? Kaucher?
Close. Kaucher.
Kaucher. I'm
Yeah, there
Carl.
you go.
There we go. All right. So
Say it,
we have,
however.
yeah,
Or just call me
we have,
sideways.
there you go. I just won't call you late for dinner, though. I'll make sure I get you on time.
Yeah,
Excellent. But yeah, we
no.
have a bunch of wonderful poets lined up here tonight. I posted the list in the chat so you guys can see. Um, yeah, I'll start things off with the poem here too. I asked Paul earlier, he was the first one here. Asked for a word and he said boom. And I had a short poem with the word boom in it. So I'll start us off with that. It's called The Storm. Woke up to a crash, a flash of light so bright. Smoke stacked so high it lit up the night. In come the deluge. I took flight. The prelude to a maelstrom. Must take refuge. It's hell soon. Ran to the living room. Slipped, fell, boom! Right on cue. Another crack of light. Deafening, threatening, reckoning from above. No love for the coffee table. Not able to stand stable, knee bleeds as I limp, a little gimp, stumbling, mumbling, fuck this shit. Thunder rumbling, in pain, the rain a torrent, wind tossed trees, mind lost all ease, torn up signs, say stop now, please. Sore from my mind down to my knee. This damn storm, a swarm of bullshit, took some form like a paranormal witch. Peace. That was just a little short.
Yeah.
That day.
And then this one is called Flicker. Flickering in and out of existence, this dance I twist with reality. Light fades, then reignites my mentality. Each pulse bringing me closer to my true state of being, freeing my soul, allowing me to behold a pure sight and true love. Above all else, I feel this need to promise myself that even when I lose hope, to keep going. Glowing with the warm, radiant light, I push past the darkness with each flicker of my essence, all the lessons I've learned, the patience I've earned. Unconcerned with the petty things that people seem to be trapped by, I keep my mind as sharp as this light that slices into the dark parts of my heart. It illuminates, then eliminates any doubt. As long as I keep pure intentions, the intensity of my light will flicker brighter with each pulse of the fire burning in my soul, hoping to grow old, enough to make a real difference in this world that we live in. I'll never give in to the temptation of taking the easy way, just breeze through the day by day. See, I believe in me. I see that we can become the things that we most treasure when we work together, hold each other close in cold weather, keep our souls as light as a feather, flicker in and out, our breath keeping pace, flicker in and out into a better space. Flicker with me. Flicker bright with haste. Just flicker with me now. We have no time to waste. Peace. Thank y'all. Yeah, we've got a wonderful show for y'all tonight. On deck, we've got Terry Rose Jurtson, but stepping up to the plate now, we have none other than the Jedi Master himself, Paul Skiff. Paul, if you can unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'll greatly appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, sure. It's a pleasure to be here again with everybody. I'll do two things, I guess. This is a short poem with a title, Zipper Lips. Let me get it. All right. Where did you go? All right, here it is. He played a sophisticated trumpet that could make people take off their pants. Some said his lips were perverse, but the labial persuaders were simply fleshy intoxicants, innocent as those naked bodies. Never before, without pronouncing a single word, had a pair of lips given permission for so much disinhibition. Once, during a Bible thumping session at the Our Lord of Our Lord Lordly Congregation Potluck Emporium and Bingo Bible Ganza, the Randy Trumpet had devotees dash out the rear exit of the sanctified premises and game of chance parlor scene, holding spaghetti sandwiches and rutabaga over their to-do-ments while shouting hortatory revelations about spiritual uplift that comes from discovering the true meaning of booty capitalism. Legends are plentiful about his fate and that of the trumpet. Many speculate coarse modern vulgarity replaced the innocence of naked bodies in public with a license to instead seek instant gratification. Others are convinced he was rubbed out by an assassin hired by the Parent Teachers Association or by the Vatican, who then had an exorcism performed on the trumpet. Whoever you believe, it is the same for all liberating prophets who come out of nowhere and vanish back into it, driven by this world's fear of pure love. But I say, ask someone who actually heard him play that trumpet and see their beatific and raptured face light up even before their hands start moving towards their zipper. I think I'm just going to stop with that. I have another poem, but enough's enough. Thank you.
There's never enough of you, man. We want more, man. We want more. We have comments tomorrow.
Or
Keep going, man. Don't
All
depress.
right.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. This is let me get this up on the screen, right? How distant from the earth does one need to travel in order to find any real profound thought? While the last 300,000 years passes by, who is playing the xylophone? I want you to be my crucial ingredient. I know beneath your surface it reigns human darkness. You glow duller at the bottom of a red ocean. How impossible is evidence that life reacts according to quivers of the universe where knowing is out of reach? The oxygen that comes out of you like it was an oppressed population wears a hat of loud announcements about change. This is known as the Great Speechless Event. Speechlessness built up as overstatement of complete wonder that swallows sage and yerba santa. What is going to change the possibility of your life in the geologic history of the planet Earth? How is the Earth employing you as a biological organism? What makes you so efficient at being you? A chrome storm cloud in the place thought counts as sacred rips up its own assimilation. There will be no indistinct reflections internalized by rationality that are not shards of selflessness. I saw you shift color from acid to arboreal to suspense to incognito. There is no need to verify or denigrate it as soon as you disappear. This party my mouth is dancing to was made out of fingertips finding common wisdom. Believe it. It would not be possible to reconnoiter spaces between the notes of this hum. Mellow, besides, is not laughter from surprise, a search for satiation spreads on necessity's bread. Do not mix antisocial with freedom. Although satire that wears a tattoo serpent on its lips calculates polite civil disobedience by shedding the skins of its table manners. We are each other's nutrient flowing into new opportunities for paradise if world history abdicates. You are the metal required for life to vibrate with megahertz. We are the life form that completely remodeled this planet, water, earth, and sky, ergonomic for traits. The thin, life-giving band of gas that permits you to live is playing to eternity while now falters. Today, the world is created by life. I am transformed by the atmosphere to many ways sequence distributes places thought will take place. Feeling, space, consciousness, and time have no permission needed to disambiguate fate, yet banality happens. What does it all mean hides explication out in the knowing that appears as empty space, invisible as a thought. A destination that is already arrived upon as it is traveled toward is not seen by looking. Let me repeat that. A destination that is already arrived upon as it is traveled toward is not seen by looking. If fear adds up over time, a generation not yet born is produced by last regrets. There is no clear view out the spinning house sheltered within by vulnerable tradition except of the insatiable automatic disempowerment made by obsolescence. Just remember, is advice seconded by that you should know better, which holds the past to have no value? The secret that is, if you want to know, makes creation pure autonomy with luxurious spirit of not meaning anything. To you, it may seem disagreeable. Time should be a blank of gratification, significance, or anticipated purpose. I am hiding in another way to be alive. I am hiding in another way to be alive. hiding in another way to be alive. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Paul. Everybody, do me a favor, unmute yourselves and give all the love you have for Paul Skiff.
Oh,
Blown away.
Woo!
Blown away. That was really great.
Amazing stuff as always, brother.
we love you, Paul.
Look, everything you do,
Back
man.
at you.
Excited for you to come up here and visit us in BC as well, too, man. We just
I'd
got
love
started
to
working
do that.
fast
I'd love to
and
do
stuff.
that. I would get lost, I would not leave. That's the problem. You'd be saying, what the fuck
No,
do you ask
that's
him
gonna
up
be
here for?
politics. Yeah, no, that's why I'm asking you, because I know you won't leave.
We got to get a bus of just all of us to go up there and like invade.
Hell yeah.
Open minds bus.
Yep, an open minds bus. Well, I'll just fucking roll out. Come
Poetry
roll out.
invasion. You can do the poetry invasion
Nice.
when we
Excellent.
all get there.
Yeah. All right. So we still have quite the show. On deck, we got Ragged the Poet, but stepping up to the plate now, Miss Terry Rose Jerson. Take it away when you're ready.
Okay. I replaced you with my dog and hoped no one would notice. My son had the hardest time when you left. The dog was a welcome distraction, and it was an excuse to give him something he wanted but could not have when you were here. You were the only dad he ever knew for 10 years. It has been 8 years of your abandonment of him. He did not deserve. The problems that we had were not his fault. You really fucked this up. You could have done it different. You didn't even move away. It hurt more knowing you stayed away from him. I was not innocent in the parting of our ways, and to this day I still have to pay when I see the damage of our disunion caused the kids who were affected as much or more than we never did admit to. Recently, I contacted you to help with a repair because that was your specialty when you were there. Surprised that you replied and performed your dependable talent.
I mean, it's still a little sour, but it's not as sour.
Can somebody mute, please? I don't mean to be a bitch, but come on.
I
Okay.
was trying so hard to use the
So,
laptop and I was dying laughing from the first line. Start over.
all right. I replaced you with my dog and hoped no one would notice. My son had the hardest time when you left. The dog was a welcome distraction, and it was an excuse to give him something he wanted but could not have when you were here. You were the only dad he ever knew for 10 years. It has been 8 years of your abandonment of him. He did not deserve. The problems that we had were not his fault. You really fucked this up. You could have done it different. You didn't even move away. It hurt more knowing that you stayed away from him. I was not innocent in the parting of our ways. And to this day, I still have to pay when I see the damage our disunion caused the kids who were affected as much or more than we never did admit to. Recently, I contacted you to help with a repair because that was your specialty when you were there. Surprised that you replied and performed your dependable talent of trying to patch things up that are broken. And then I have this one. I lost my first home, the place I used to hide from my mother. I wanted her to miss me, but she knew the game because she invented it. A student of psychology. She would wait me out knowing that the attic was a steamy, pine-seeped golden drops of sap as the sun would bake in the noon of the day. She would get her way when I couldn't bear being up there and would have no more tears left to cry. surrender my standoff position, return to the bedroom that I shared with my baby sister. She didn't understand the complicated emotion she invoked by replacing my mother's love with her presence. It took me my whole life of defending myself and overcoming addiction to finally heal through not giving in to the brokenheartedness of rejection.
That was amazing, Terry. Everybody, do me a favor, unmute yourselves and give all the love you have for Terry Rose Jersey.
There's some powerful, powerful words. Beautiful. Very beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
broke you broke the world with that first line. I replaced you with the
Yeah.
duck.
That's a
Dude, I
good
got
line.
up, and I have the laptop here and the cord's like kind of going through it. I knocked the laptop over, like everything fell out, almost freaking busted my head. Like I was like you broke the whole world with that line, man.
I broke the internet. I broke the
Yeah,
internet.
like literally, yeah. Almost broke my laptop too. No, amazing stuff as always, Terry. We love you and we appreciate everything you do.
I like
Um,
the comparison of being like a handyman to to repairing human relationships as well as broken fixtures and appliances and stuff. I hadn't heard that comparison before.
Thank you.
That was very effective.
Well, they call me Mr. Fix It, even though I break most things, but hey.
You got to break them before you can fix them, right?
There you go, Carl. He knows what's up. All right, so coming up on deck, we've got Robert Fleming, but stepping up to the plate now, we've got Ragged the Poet. Ragged, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I greatly appreciate it, brother.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Yeah, good to hear.
Extra good.
The first piece I've got here is called the Psalm of Stillness. I seek the still between the breaths, like a new moon that's dawning. Like the climber seeks the peak, I seek the summit within me that lies beyond the longing. In the desperate hours when even brave ones cower, I wait for eternities now. Enduring the caterwaul, sidestepping the blades of fate, when red minutes won't abate, as the clock ticks too late. Till the pure moment waits. Shh. A suspension of time. Where the peace is sublime and the planets align. When, right there, I find the still point of the void. The quiet center of just to be. And the seconds tick free. In the harmony between the eye that eyes can see and the enemy in me. So patiently, to be behind a trigger, slow squeeze, to bless the fatal path where the warrior's prayer for death rides on the wind and pauses to connect the eye who cannot die to the eye who cannot reach across the final chasm in the still between the breaths. And the next one is called An Old Soldier's Warning. When political masters declare that ominous threats are concerning, the old and the wise will tell us, beware, for they know that the war wheels are turning. Now war is a fraudulent lure, a seduction that grows like a fire. Sparked with intentions courageous and pure, it dies in the ash and the mire. Beginning with eager conviction and calls to arms that inspire, with promises based on a fiction, for war is a rogue and a liar. And the brothers and sisters of war pay the price while the presidents prattle, and only survivors can tally the score and the wounds they bear from the battle. Now the leaders who issue the summons and then speak to inspire us all are never the ones to carry the guns and never ever the ones who will fall. So then after the armies return and after the epitaphs read, we must remember the lessons we learn from the stones with the names of the dead. That's an old soldier's warning.
Amazing stuff as always. Everybody unmute yourselves and give all the love you have for Ragged the poet.
Yeah, very good.
War wheels are always turning, man. Great one. Powerful.
Hmm.
So much depth always.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like the internal rhyme in that too. I believe there was some internal rhyme going there and some alliteration. Good job.
Believe in the pacing and the cadence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
word in the background. You were like marched through that poem, you know? It was dope, man. Again, thank you for your poetry and thank you for your service too, brother. I'm glad
Yeah,
you
of
know
course. Good to see you guys. Thanks for the opportunity to share.
that. All right. So Carl's coming up here soon with a feature. But before that, we've got Black Salt on deck, but stepping up to bat. Now we've got Robert Fleming. Now, Robert, do you need to share a screen?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Robert Fleming, a visual poet and digital artist from Lewis, Delaware. Tonight I will be sharing some digital art and a poem. So here we go. Here it is. This was preparing for a magazine submission called Hayden's Ferry Review. The theme was maximalism, excess, abundance, ornate. For those of you who are familiar with European architectural and design history, the period that this happened was called Rococo, which was between 1850 and 1900s. And the biggest architectural building which reflected this type of style of ornate was the Palace of Versailles in France. So this was an original image that I took of a pig, and I applied a digital filter called voxel art, which makes the pig look like Lego. And then I put the pig at the place where they could be the most slothful, which would be at the swimming pool drinking a pina colada. So this is called voxel art pig at Tiki Bar. And then here on the left side is the original pig image, and on the right is the voxel art pig. And the next abundance I did was with a rattlesnake den. Throughout the winter, rattlesnakes go below ground and group in large groups over 100 to make it through the winter in the United States and Arizona and Texas. And this is an example of a digital art study that I would do of one image. It's similar to a photography contact sheet. So I did about 7 different studies of this image. And then the ones which I like the best, this filter is called Pixel Art Studio, which I like, which I have to say doesn't frequently generate an interesting image. I'd say only maybe 5% of the time. And then this was another interesting filter called Heat Wave, which generates blue and red as the primary images. And then again, on the left side is the original image of the rattlesnake den. On the right side is the pixel art image, which was my favorite. And then the other abundance is a anaconda snake ball. What happens when anacondas breed is that the female will attract between 10 and 15 males, and they will form a ball with the female. Again, this was an example of the study that I did of the anaconda ball, and two more images. And then here are some of the images which I like the most. This one is called Tracer, which makes your image between black and white. And then this was the voxel art image of the anaconda ball, again making it look like Lego. And this is a filter called Trippy, which will take your image and triple it and add the primary colors in the color wheel to your image. This is the last one I did, which actually had 3 different filters. You can see there's sort of some reddish pink in it. That was the first filter called Hibiscus. And then the next one I add was to slice it up. And the third one was Liquefy, to make it look like there was movement. And then again, the one on the left is the original photograph. On the one on the right was my favorite image, which was the one that was submitted. Here is an original photograph that I took last summer of a beach about 15 miles north of where I live called Fowler Beach. And then here is the image again with Tracer, making it black and white. And then the original image on the left and the Tracer on the right. Another abundance in nature is the herring ball. When dolphins hunt the herring, they form a tight-knit ball as a form of defense. So there could be up to 10,000 herring in this ball. Again, I like the Tracer image of the herring and the original on the left and the Tracer on the right. The last one was a watermelon field. And here again is the Tracer image, which was my favorite, and the original on the Tracer. And I will finish with a poem I had recently published, I'd say about a week or 2 weeks ago. There's a magazine called Sense and Sensibility Haiku, which is edited by Patricia Carrigan. I'd say the magazine is about six months old, and Patricia's favorite form is haiku. So this is a haiku. Fisher fishes fish. Fish finds fisher. Fisher fished. Thank you for letting me share my submission to Hayden magazine with the theme of abundance.
Well, we are abundantly joyous for being able to witness your art as always. Everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for Robert Fleming.
Nice work, Robert.
So trippy, dude. Oh my God, I love
Yeah,
it.
it's trippy.
So
Oh, yeah.
Robert,
Trippy
your
split.
Too, man.
your
That haiku-
images are really about a kind of process of putting original images through filters. Are you concerned that the final image needs to be recognizable as like the original object, or is that besides the point, and you're more interested in the sort of effect of a filter?
I I mostly show in art galleries and in digital magazines without the original image, just the final image. But for my fellow writers and artists, I like for them to be able to see the original image versus the final image. So you can really see what a digital art filter can do and how different the original image is from the final image. Two of the things which for people who are not artists, they can see is that a standard photograph can be turned into an impressionistic or a surrealistic painting.
So what, if you don't mind my asking, what is for you, what's the sort of criterion you use to decide that the final image is what you're after? What convinces you that filter and that transformation has gotten you to where you want to be visually?
I'd say that it captures a moment, and that the image is the most vivid with the colors that are being shown. The other thing that I do is I'm a visual arts editor for several magazines, and most submitters submit in color. So I frequently create black and white images to contrast the color submissions.
Nice. Well, we love what you do. Yeah, continue to do it. Continue to make art that we can just enjoy, man, and continue to show up here because we love you. Yeah, coming up on deck, we've got a feature set from Kaucher. I forgot already.
Yes.
See, side effects of the
Kaucher.
job. Kaucher. Kaucher. Yeah.
Man.
See, it's the CH in there that messes me up, man.
Yeah, well, it's a hard CH.
Yeah. Yeah, Kaucher. Yeah, okay. I got you. So yeah, that's coming up on deck. But before we go into that, we have Black Salt WLF. And Black Salt, what does WLF stand for again, brother?
We live in fear. We live in fear. Yeah. There was WLIF, but then I switched it to WLF because then I have the wolf reference, and I like that in there because I acknowledge the wolf as part of my totem. So that's a big bonus for me, and I think people can infer the I. So yeah.
Usually, like it with an acronym, you'll drop like the ends and this, do you need share screen feature?
Yes, I will. I'm actually gonna share not a song this time. I'm gonna share with you some a poem, but I'm gonna but a poem with visuals. You're familiar with this one actually, Thomas. It's the original Black Salt. Speaking of Black Salt, it's the original Black Salt. Black Salt, we live in fear. Black dog, black beard, and so I'll share that with you. But starting out, but I want to share that. But I'll start out with just a regular, just simple poem. And this poem is called "Here to Stay." So we'll start out with that. And so yeah, can you hear me? Okay, not too loud, not too quiet. Okay, I got thumbs up, so I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. This poem is called "Here to Stay." There's no way around it. Some things are simply too good to go away, like treasures and forbidden pleasures kept locked away. Now, I don't know where I'll go after this or what happens when we die, but I believe, as in life, so in death. In other words, where there's water, you can usually find a bush. And just like that, like water and the foliage, I want something or someone to need me. I want to be here to stay, just like the dirt, even if that means I get walked on from time to time. Like a good bourbon or whiskey, I want to get you addicted, even if that means we fall off a cliff sometimes. Like a crystal in your pocket or your favorite watch, I want someone to carry me with them every day, even if that means I get lost from time to time. Because I'm only here for what's real, and I don't care about the rest. Working towards immortality is my only quest. Even if I have to die and be reborn again, get back up again, or dive deep into the wonders of the abyssal cosmos, I'm here to stay and dance with the gods and cosmic laws. I don't want praise. I want purpose, real purpose, and to rehearse this immortal dance forever. And that is here to stay. And so I'm going to share with you this second piece. I'm going to take you, actually, I don't need to share sound. I'm going to take you to my IG. And so this is my public Instagram account. And so I'm just going to share with you this poem. It's called Black Salt. And this is kind of what Black Salt WLF is based off of. It's actually based off this poem. And that's where I got the idea from. And so I'm going to share this with you guys. Can you see the screen okay? The words and everything, the pirate flag and everything. Okay, I see thumbs up, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. This poem is called Black Salt, dedicated to all spiritual pirates and captains of their own ship. Black salt, we live in fear. Black dog, black beard. Don't forget to comb your hair. Black bone, black crow. Wake up early, sing with the bird. Black key, black wings. Don't forget who runs the sea. Black cats, black. We became the devil. Good men turned sour. Black powder, darkest hour. It's not as simple as you think. No return. Black rose thorns. Black salt. We live in fear. Black dog. Black beard. And that is Black Salt. If anybody's curious about the image, that is simply something that I whipped up in an AI art app, and just messing around with the AI art app and kind of came up with that. It's an old image I had lying around, and so I just kind of repurposed it into this poem. And so I hope you guys can appreciate that. Again, this is my public Instagram channel. It's just the same as my poetry alias, Black Salt WLF. And so yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure they're not.
That's my brother right there, man. Everybody, do me a favor, unmute yourselves and give all the love you have for Black Salt.
Ow, ow.
We live in fear.
Wonderful
Black
image.
salt, yeah.
Loved how you read that second one, man.
That line in the first one
Really
about
images.
the grounding and being walked on, that shit broke me, dude. That was so beautiful. I got 5 minutes.
Thank
Oh my
you.
God.
Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot.
And I will return. I love it.
All right.
I
So
just- I like how in that second one you threw all the images together, like kind of juxtaposition, and let that take over. And the way you read it was just really accented
You know,
that. It was great.
there's a reason why I kind of changed my whole fucking my name to Black Salt when I read that. Like when I certain poems just take over you. Like certain
Yes.
poems, you just like
I
become a
remember the
different person
transformation
almost.
too, man.
And
Yeah,
that's
like
one of
that.
those poems. Black Salt, we live in. That's one of those poems that just kind of has this way of just taking over me. And I was just taken
Yes.
over so much that I like changed my whole name to Black Salt. WL. Like it just take. There's another one that takes over me. There's other poems that take over me too, but that's one of them. Just takes me over. So I'm glad someone can appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's devoid of narrative. That's good because the images themselves provide, the narrative for, and everybody probably experiences that differently,
Yeah.
I like that
I like
concept
poetry like that. Yeah,
it out and Carl with being devoid of narrative and just being general because then like you said everyone can almost have their own narrative running by the imagery, right? And I always found
exactly.
some of the best songs and best poems do it that way. It could be like I could hear the same song but be in different moods and it'll speak to me on different levels because it is kind of so generic and it's devoid of narrative and it's just very descriptive and you can make up your own narrative as you go. I think that is a very important part of creating art for people to enjoy because now they get you give them a sandbox to play in essentially, right? Yeah,
Exactly. And you could read it 10 times and you'd get a different experience out of it every time,
like
because of
the
that, because of the way it's presented,
balance approach.
but absolutely the way he read it really just brought more of it, more out from it. So great.
All right, so Carl, I'm not on my PC, so unfortunately I do not have the bio that you sent to me. If
Sure.
you have a little small one that you could post, I could read, or if you want to just kind of intro yourself, we can do it either way.
Yeah, I don't have anything handy to send to you. But I can kind of
Yeah, if you
introduce
could just
myself a
kind of
little bit.
just intro yourself. Yeah, just tell us about
Sure.
yourself a bit. So yeah, if you want to
I
tell us a
will.
bit about yourself and then bless us with the feature, man, we would greatly appreciate it, Carl. Woo!
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. And thank you, Thomas, for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Bless you. All right. Well, my name is Carl Kaucher. I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania, which we established earlier. I've been writing since forever. And really kind of fell in love with beat poetry and observational type of poetry. Uh, so that's kind of where I've started really finding my voice with that kind of that genre of writing, and kind of being spontaneous and in the moment and such. I've put out a few books, which I'm going to go through a little bit tonight, three of them, and so I'll share that with you. Uh, Pretty much I've been published a lot of times and I read a lot of places around the area. There's a pretty good poetry scene in the Pennsylvania area, Philadelphia, Reading, Allentown, all these places around here. And I also do photography, like I mentioned earlier. And part of what I do is going around visiting various Pennsylvania towns because I'm very much in love with not only the ambiance of the town, the pay and old factories, but the architecture as well in these Pennsylvania towns is very interesting. So I've been all over the state doing photography, and I write about a lot about my experiences. So some of what you hear tonight, there's some place names in it from Pennsylvania, and things that happened there. So I'll just get into it if you don't mind. Again, I'm going to go through a couple of my books here, but first I wanted to give this piece to you. It was kind of written during the early days of COVID. I was sitting here in my house, just kind of pondering what was going on in the world and kind of musing about my area that I live in, fusing places and memories together, and kind of weaving them into this little narrative here. It's called Linoleum. The cat is playing with its shadow and dragging dead moonbeams across the linoleum floor. He leaves them bloody at my bedroom door late at night, while an empty participle is dangling from my lips, lacking the expression to modify the dark room or the closed door or the street outside my window, or the city as an idea formed a long time ago. Before the sirens were wailing on Fifth Street and the world closed down, before the lonely interloper of night straggled his lonely sorrows past my house on his way to wherever, moaning mantras of alcoholic reason as he stopped to light a cigarette beneath the dark insomnia of space, and then drifted into my memory. Then this poem. Before the train whistles its urgent cry into a mournful blessing at midnight, and the traffic signals change from green to red, glaring its phantom light onto the wet asphalt of Puckerton Road for no one. In a radiant moment of solitude, imagined by the camera's invariant eye focused on the scene from the drive-up window at the M&T Bank on Route 61. Before the point of existence was found in a half-full glass of beer spilled at the bar, now dripping onto the floor and running out the door, down the street and into the sewer, as a metaphor of fate at this late hour you disappear into, dreaming of the road lost years ago, out past the edge of town, down by the old railroad overpass, where fate is waiting with instructions to take you further on. Before the last call wails, when the cat has become bored with his shadows and purrs in undertones of pathos, as a drop of water trickles down my glass, refracting the light of the moon into a nightmare. Thank you. I was in linoleum. As you can see, I write a lot of observational things and descriptive kind of narrative. I'm trying to get into a lot of detail and creating a portrait for you, so to speak. So I'll read from a couple of my books here, from my last 3 books. This one was my second book, and it's called Postponed. You can see that. And that's one of my photographs on the front cover there. It's an old steel mill up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So one time I was up in Maine, and I had this kind of tragic encounter with a young woman there, left a lasting impression on me. And well, I wrote this about that experience. I called it Cut Girl. As if the pain were inseparable from the stagnant air, or the waves of gravity flowing from her coal black hair, her pale skin the color of death, accenting a dagger-pierced nose and brow, her glossed black lips snarled beneath cold weapon-like eyes all blank on a dank day, and a nowhere song sung like the random knife cuts up and down her arm. Stars that stitched the air with tragedy and carved reality into the solitude of her desolate mind. Those savage Gothic eyes, passionately glaring in despair, soothed, blissfully turbulent and radioactive, and every word she spoke madly adorned the sadness of her soul with enmity. For the enemy was conceptually me, and she was the number 7, dressed in black, playing chess with the devil like a character in an Ingmar Bergman film tattooed to her left thigh. I wondered who promised her salvation, cashiering at a drugstore in Bar Harbor, Maine, where I stopped in for a beer, all parched and worn on a warm summer's day, dying as the sun wept crimson sighs settling behind dark magenta clouds on the horizon. Lead. Its tears collected along the razor's edge when the red droplets flowered and flowed. And I know she wanted to kill me. See, I'd be the revenge for a dark love crafted in her crazy dreams, yet I wanted to tell her that I loved her, but to manage only a mollified pity that felt dirty and shitty, so I had to get away. You know, if suicide does save the last cut, girl, I'm hoping that this poem might somehow still keep you alive. It's called Cut Girl. And let's see, one more from this book. This was about, thank you. This is about my journeying around in Philadelphia one time, or a culmination of journeys in Philadelphia. I called it Stream. When I am spiritually awakened, it will sound like breaking glass, shuddering the past, and moving as light No light will escape me, but will be three radical orbs of color, prismatic in a shop window as I pass. In turn, the particles will become waves and linger in the afternoon sun, illuminating a Neolithic cave painting that looks like graffiti on Moravian Street, but this may be a petroglyph on Patterson. A collage of scattered bricks and weeds and subtle undertones of trash strewn in vacant lots near abandoned burned out homes look like an urban art installation viewed from an old elevated railroad, surrounded by wild sticker bushes and a barbed wire fence where the homeless hang their clothes to dry. It's a macabre wanderlust of scrub trees and underbrush populated by mangy squirrels and preening pigeons under the bridge. The whole scene seen by a blue jay in a cemetery garden near an old church where a mossy stone wall is crumbling or has already begun to crumble since before it was even built, as no traces will be left in the dust. For without silence, there is no sound to echo the mystery of life. No vision of truth is apparent in a reflection of telephone poles, wires, and billowing gray clouds, in a pool of water collecting behind dead leaves in the gutter, inspiring the sobs of a drunken poet leaning against the post very late at night in a forgotten corner of the world where you cannot step into the same stream of consciousness twice. All right, that was from Postponed. So now we'll move on to, and bear with me all, my second to last book called Peripheral Debris. So I can get that in there. And that's another photograph of mine on the front cover. So yeah, sometimes I have well, it's about place, but I have images that come to me, and I was reading about the Buddhist metaphor of how we're all like waves in the ocean, right? And but even when we cease being waves, we go back to the ocean. We're still part of everything. So I had this scene in my head of out in the ocean, and I wrote this poem describing that. It's called Joy. An ocean of silence permeates a dream in perspectives of wave, like a spasmodic swell erupting from a deep sea bubbling cauldron of bliss. Reflected, I'll start over again. An ocean of silence permeates a dream in perspectives of wave, like a spasmodic swell erupting from a deep sea bubbling cauldron of bliss, caressed by silvery moonlight, reflective upon the dark waters of wisdom. I am floating within the waves amidst one sea of many currents that whip turbulent furies of white foam upon a gale spray, so that I can't even speak of sometimes ascending to crest or plunging to a crash, smashed upon a rocky shore. Then arising in consciousness once more amidst swarms of jellyfish as seabirds punctuate this phrase with a deep dive. God help me, I'm alive, but breaking up again. Yet it is only then that I become free to be just the sea. Though the tidal drift religiously flows, my errant current spirals whirlpools too far below, into the inky darkness, across the abyssal plains, past antediluvial caves where all the lost waves eventually go. Yeah. Joy. Okay. And continuing on, I'll read another one from this book, Peripheral Debris. So some of the poems are peripheral and some of them are just debris from when I was wandering around. And this is of the debris. I was up in a town called Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, sitting on the stone steps of a church on a rainy day. And well, this is what was going on with me and around me. Wilkes-Barre, it's town in Pennsylvania. The end of summer spits a misty rain that percolates from gray, yawning tissues of cloud, infiltrating an old industrial town and fertilizing the transient flow of nobody going nowhere, real slow. I'm tramping through cool, vaporous soup to a cemetery relief, keening with the seizure of keening with the rankled sobs of spirits amidst crumbling angels, rusted crosses and crypts, festering a stone's throw from Appalachian slopes, shrouded in a mythic fog, astute in the profundity of wet marble and saturated concrete, inspiring a mope and a moan. Woe at my wet shoes, sopping with the story of past lives. Big wet branches of bare trees refine themselves into droplets falling from the finest of twigs. I'm not sure I could generate enough words to fill an empty beer bottle, yet alone to remember awakening on Main Street when I was so infused with dreams. The content of silence mirrors the empty streets. Still, a lone traveler passes by a tangle of weeds, a broken recliner, and a shopping cart full of junk. Lost. I am walking towards clarity as the rain sings refrains of dip, drip on a rusted tin roof twisted upon the stone steps of the old church. I am contemplating a stream of sludge sliding down the gutter and around the carcass of a vole, caressing the pliant and supple fur, matted and lifeless, as if consoling its loss. And all day long I heard about the shadows on the wall, and they mean nothing at all. What else could I say? Thank you. That was from Peripheral Debris. And now, if you don't mind, I'll continue with my latest book, which is called UGH. UGH. Came out just last year, 2024. And this, let's go with this one. This is my homage to the beat poets who, and specifically maybe Jack Kerouac, who I named this Jack after him. Awaken, old conspirators of dawn. Let us celebrate the drunken poets now dead from Dionysian wine of Tokay, who wandered off woeful mountains, collected rocks for cairns and haiku, built temples of words from thin air, carved magical myths of the Dharma from senseless stumbles in the night. Awaken to prove scripture cannot be revealed but must be lived so that even one's cells reflect the spirit. The scripture is inspired and torturous, inferred from the context of suffering, but represents complete uninhibited punch, pure emancipated pow, illuminated wow. For light leaves nothing but darkness. Though radiant swirls of color, theatrical and thick, penetrate skies with sighs of experience, the truth has been negotiated far beyond and long before in dusky roadside bars, boxcars beneath stars, rhyming mad deliriums. The bodhisattvas of booze, delegating an apportioned purity in a smack of tea, skinny dipping salvation by bongo beat and sweet philosophical junk. All right, that was Jack. How am I doing? Am I all right? Still going? All
Hey,
right.
you can go as long as you want. Look, when we do these
All right.
feature spotlights, I don't like to put time limits on it. We're all here to hear you tonight. This is your night. You know, give us what you got until you feel like you said what you had to say. You know what I mean?
All right, got you, man. Well, I have a few more. A few more. So let's go with. I like this one because it's got a. I was able to get some pretty good imagery in here. Uh, I was doing a poetry reading in Woodbridge, New Jersey, one time, and I stayed overnight. The morning after, I was sitting in a coffee shop and started taking some notes, and well, this poem came out of that called New Jersey. New Jersey, the hotel after. I was holed up for 3 days in a poem about a coffee shop long about Woodbridge, New Jersey, that I was going to flesh out at night on a pair of bongos. But for now, it's just crumbs on the table, Nina Simone, and a book of Hindu scripture. I've heard that an infinite number of universes exists where you can disappear, but you can't get there from here. It's Thursday morning, and fast trucks are on the move, developing the story of an empty parking lot, then the street beyond, a row of half-dead bushes blocking the view. Jet trails streak northward, littering the pale blue sky, mingling with thin wisps of cloud ice at high altitude, like fresco brush strokes on porcelain, as an aside for the midday sun, struggling to hold on to its light, yet catching the dust of a dirty window, cascading contorted shadows onto the plank board floor. Meanwhile, using the beat lunch poems by an amusing New York poet, a woman passes by and looks at me like I'm not even there to, to hear a crash in the kitchen, the groans that reminds me of the dishes piled in my sink at home, consorting with the vacuum cleaner that's been sitting outside the closet for several weeks, waiting. This day's dream is really just an aspect of collective thought that resembles a coffee stain on Frank O'Hara's T-shirt, dripped from the lip of a lunch cart in Manhattan, or a Pittsburgh poet's reflection passing by a neon diner window in West Virginia as he snapped a picture. Row homes caught on fire in Philadelphia, the bomb tracks of Orthodox Zen, like trying to find Krishnamurti's left sock in meditation, goes beyond thought and can happen anytime. Afterward, dealing with failure as success becomes a Buddhist ritual in the coffee shop that is really just the moaning of a hangover, except for the singing bowl and sticks of incense, packs of sugar and jelly. No paper towels in the bathroom. Heck, I think maybe I might go to New Brunswick if only I could put down the pen, and then all this would end. New Jersey. And well, sometimes when I'm out and about, I'm sure you've all experienced it, you run across a very interesting person. And I was down in Lancaster one time sitting at a bar, and well, this woman came up, sat beside me, and I wrote this poem about her. I called it Louise of Lancaster. During a jazz intermission, she asked if I followed the horses. Horses? Yeah, the horses. It seems she has constructed a computer program that accurately predicts the winners of every race at Pimlico, including the Preakness. The boss loves the horses and bets every chance he can, so he had authorized her to take the time at work to program said computer to perfectly predict. Her name is Louise, and she takes about 15 minutes and 2 beers to explain the whole affair to me, but I'm still stuck on horses? Conversation contorted through racing forms, jockeys, trifectas, then somehow onto religion. She's an old Catholic girl who holds the Bible near while swiftly running away towards pints of beer. Aliens play a prominent role in her twisted religious worldview woes. She asks if I know of the ant people. I say, did Jesus teach that? Perhaps it's in one of the other spiritual books. For to her, there is a book written by God for every planet in the cosmos. It seems that God is the zero on a number line stretching to infinity. He damned the other dimensions. And the ant people are actually the aliens living under the earth or at the bottom of the ocean. The government provides the saucers they fly. Her words resonate like an empty stomach full of rancid beer, a head full of clouds, and a tongue like Mercury rising in retrograde. Her eyes are like layers of harmonic distortion in a punk rock song, but with the body of a little old lady from Lancaster County, adorned with faded plastic flowers in her lapel that were found in an abandoned insane asylum. She wore a paisley shirt, slacks, and a pair of Doc Martens. I hardly said a word, but finally I muttered, "You do, of course, realize that you have been waiting your entire life for me to arrive so you can tell me all this." She stares at me silently, then guzzles down her beer, belches, gets up, and leaves. Horses? That was from my book, Ugh. All right. And
Hey, Carl,
I'm
real
gonna
quick though,
keep,
too, can you make
yeah,
sure that you put all of the links to your books and all that stuff too, so
yeah,
we could.
yeah.
That's
They're up on Amazon, but I'll put it down at the bottom when I'm
Uh,
done. Put it in the
yeah,
messages.
link it up, man. Link everything you can.
All right, will. And I'll put I have a lot of my photography up at Instagram. It's just my name, at Carl Kaucher on Instagram. So if you want to check out what I photograph while I'm writing this stuff, you can do that as well. So, um, well, let's see. All right, thank you, Thomas. Let's two more, two more. Fourth and Franklin. This was an observational poem. I was standing at the corner of Fourth and Franklin in Reading, Pennsylvania, and just well, describing the whole scene for you that went on. The night fully reveals itself at late hours which never elapse, but seem to be unending rituals of candlelight flickering into parables of darkness that permeate the air like a slightly grotesque smudge of fudge infiltrating of the long tracks of city lights, reciting their glittering wisdom during meditations of rain, as if the streets were laid out in song, so that every step undertakes a melody but spontaneous like jazz, and you cannot find your way unless you open up to the spirit of the thing that night brings. Like a few doors down the street, I heard a child crying until a wind kicked up like a snare drum shaped as the moon, tapping its rhythmic to the melody, and was which was synchronous to the sound of an ice cream truck that approached the intersection, just as a young woman with dark hair smiled as if she were a free spirit, golden concord of cradle and relief, like a Hindu yogini grooving on a sutra, or maybe digging a mantra, then chanting a tear that washed away the blues. And I was in tune. I could understand the premise that she was everything and that everything was conceptually empty of self. Go ask the Buddha. Go ask Christ. Because no matter how many times the light changes from green to red, the cycle will never end. No matter if the child cries from sadness or hunger, eventually it will be comforted and fed. No matter if things come apart and become their constituent parts, subsequent generations will come along to put the melody back together and play that song again until the night becomes day, or until I walk away and get me an ice cream cone. So that was Fourth and Franklin. All right, and finally, the perfection at the end. I was well, this was an old memory that came to me one morning about an encounter I had with a woman back in the 1980s. That puts my age out there. Um, and it just dawned on me what the whole situation meant. Um, the subtle details kind of emerged throughout the whole morning, and while I was at work, I kept writing down the lines that came to me, and I just fleshed it all out. And well, this was the story. I called it One Night Stand. The bar was a riotous roar of noise. You said you were only a symbol of a human being. I couldn't figure out what you meant, but I was most intrigued. You seemed heaven sent in a tight white striped pullover, and I was totally unprepared for your blessing. So what could possibly go wrong? Ah, sometimes we are tempted by our worst inclinations. If I remember correctly, I think your name was Danette, or maybe it was Mary. I forget. The miasma of your melancholy meandered across the floorboards. The discordant weep of your oppression ensconced in your frantic like emotional state seemed misplaced and too late to see the ordinance of your salvation. But still, we fervently talked. And after a while, we thought that perhaps walking would unwind the clotted memories, the disfigured dreams, the thorny tissue of our most treasured secrets. We walked. We walked clear around the world, but kept returning to the place we started, so we just sat in a bench beside a burned out factory. It was dark and surprisingly silent for the city. We took many sips from the bottle of desolation that I kept in my back pocket until it was gone. I can't remember what we talked about. And I'm not sure what we were thinking, but man, were we drinking from the cup of animal attraction. You said you were the personification of a nightmare, that your love was despair, and asked if I would follow you there. I bathed in the radiant tragedy of every word you wept. The adversity in your eyes seeped a sea of troubles swimming in your soul, and together we drifted through the waves. In jest, you took out a knife and held it to my throat, and we kissed. And as we kissed, you cut. I did not feel a thing, nor did I even care as I ran my bloody fingers through your sweaty, knotted hair. The morning light began to come behind the houses on Spring Street, and so we danced. We danced down the street towards our imminent destruction. And at the intersection, we waited for the orange hand to change into the little white man, and then we were free. I felt connected, vibrant, like a rainbow of ruin dissipating into the sidewalk, like tripping in damnation, holy in hallucination. When the sun made the blue skies arise, we became like shadows in the wall, in fact, like nothing at all. Then you left, said you had to get home. And I wandered around back alleys all alone and plucked a rose from someone's backyard. Later, I laid it on your doorstep beside a drop of blood and never thought of you again until now. Thank you. My name's Carl Kaucher. Thank you all for putting up with me. That's it.
Carl Cocker, everybody, please do me a favor, unmute yourselves and give it up for Carl Cocker.
Yay.
Amazing feature, brother. Amazing stuff, man.
Woo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We love you. That second last one, you got really deep on us. That was really
Yeah.
good. That one
Well, I've been
fun.
kind of getting more into kind of a stream of consciousness kind of thing, just letting one line flow into the next, one image feed into the next image, and so on. So maybe that's my next book down the line.
So hold on, Carl. So I've been working with my buddy John Michael, and I have been working on an epic collab. Black Salt's been on it. We've built it's basically just an epic collab, one never-ending poem, and we pull different poets in new parts. If you would be interested in that, man, I would love for you to be on it too. If that stream of it's basically off the same thing, right? That stream of consciousness, just kind of freestyle, just we'll get on video chat and we'll type into it. And if you want to be a part of that, man, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll see what I can come up with, Hell, I'm always up
I'm
for
pretty
new
busy
experiences.
nowadays, but like coming up in the next, week or so, a couple weeks here, we'll book some time with you and we'll get
All
you in
right.
on the epic.
Well, give me a heads up on it. I'll see if I can do it,
Excellent.
The workaday world's dragging me down these days, but I
Same
still
here.
try to keep the still try to keep the poetry flowing, So,
Stream of
but
consciousness.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much for doing this feature for us. Everybody, do me a favor and
Thank
unmute
you.
yourselves one more time and give it up for Carl. Carl Cocker.
Yes.
Amazing set. Wow.
Great job,
Thank you
bro.
so much.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
love it. We appreciate you. We love you. You're amazing. Thank you.
Well, I like to do the images and lay it all out. So I'm glad you appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, really,
Glad to
really
take you around
wonderful,
Pennsylvania with us. With me.
really wonderful set, Carl. Thanks. Very generous too.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna continue this show. We have some performers lined up here. We still got Osiris, Nemo Soom, and Kenny Zant, who is in my house right now, gonna perform some poetry. So we're it's over there, sir. But yeah, so on deck we've got Nemo Soon, but coming up now we got Osiris. How you been, brother? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. I love the artwork there for your profile pic. That reminds me of your essence right there. That's who you are. I hope you're embracing that and just really going on and thriving in 2025, brother.
Peace, and love, my brother. Yeah, man, it's been a minute, man. I'm glad to be back. There's been a lot going on in my life, man. It's been a little busy, but I always see your posts. I always want to jump on, but I'm here now, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got two pieces, both about love. You know what I would have what I want to spread, and I believe that we put on this earth, man, to share it with another person. You know what I mean? So if you find someone that resonates with you and you could enjoy life with, man, it's a beautiful thing. So I'll get right into it. I'm not your man, but I could fill the void with the love that your heart's been missing. Might be the last time I make this lasting impression. I use love as a weapon to take you hostage and terrorize whoever tries to stop your horizons. No negotiations in order because I just killed you with kindness. If it's 25 years to love that I'm facing, throw away the key and give me the love sentence. This love that come from within, it's like scorching lava, hibernating in my soul's desire, patiently waiting to erupt into your atmosphere because up there is where I find solace, releasing the pressure from where it's been hiding. So be prepared for the second coming of Zion. This is my last chance. My hourglass of love is almost empty. Although this is tempting, the ones before you tried to submerge my lava but came up empty, largely because of this viscosity. You cannot drown me. Cooling this magma to clot, turning this lava to volcanic rock, hardening my walls, rewinding my clock. My core still pumps with hesitation, with hopes that one day I'll finally receive reciprocation, appreciation. But really, I'm just a ship searching for your heart's destination, with no anchor to lower. So my calculations and patience needs to look for your lighthouse, or that space will be vacant. True love in its purest form transcends all conditions. The realms of your souls are galactic, giving everlasting premonitions. Locating a love like yours is more difficult than searching for treasure, which isn't easily acquired. Might take digging through a mine to find the most flawless of diamonds. Gas up the excavator. The treasure you quest is deep in the dirt. 24 carats is not nearly the measure of your worth. Even immersed in the deep blue sea, among this intricate magical underworld, it's here where you find the rarest, purest, priceless pearls. I spend years searching, dating online, wasting my time, emptying my cup, but still being at a stalemate. Because the qualities I seek in you, I cannot find, no matter the destinations I locate. It's a bold-faced lie if you said my love wasn't consistent. From day one, you've received morning texts and goodnight kisses, words of encouragement, date nights, royal privilege, trips, vacation trips, and an abundance on Christmas. It's the little things like bringing home your favorite Hershey Kisses, buttermilk biscuits, cooking, then washing the dishes, taking out the garbage, walking your dog on leashes, catering to your children, folding your linen, slaps on the ass while you walk by in the kitchen. Road trips over bridges, long walks, shopping online for sundresses on foreign shore beaches, running my hand across your delicate facial features, uplifting you when you feel insufficient, believing in your vision, scrolling on a computer, researching, giving you different options on things you should visit when you're crawled up in the fetal position, sick, grating ginger for tea, freshly squeezed lemon. Who the fuck has been this deliberate? Nobody. I would like my flowers now before I die and cease to be living. I'm not that complex. Just give me your trust, a safe space, peace, and some good cooking, just in case I get locked up in prison. Please read me my disposition. Help me conjure up a plea of abatement so we can fight the system. Show the strength of love. Live private, free from criticism. That was that one. Pardon me, man. I was a little a little antsy. I kind of was rushing it. I haven't read that one in a while.
Yeah,
Y'all
you went
lit.
ham on that one, bro. You went all in. My wife's like, hey,
Here's
we
the
need.
next. Let me get a little sip of this drink. Hold up.
Yeah, yeah. Cheers, brother.
All right. Knowing what I wanted, but not knowing if it was possible. Knowing it was possible, but not knowing if it was possible for me. Something beautiful happens when you stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing yourself. When you obtain knowledge of self, love of self, when you can be alone with the changing shapes in the mirror. Everything and everyone has to rise to the occasion. All the good things you once had to force now arrive in perfect timing. Yes, you need to work, but it will be worth it. Only in the right environments, with the right people, given the right opportunities, craving the kind of life that lights up from within. Wrestling with toxic relationships ruptured my Achilles. The mental and physical therapy was grueling, but necessary. Embodying peace now, I find myself I find myself scouring foreign lands, crossing borders, changing time zones, searching for a woman I know so well, but never met before. I don't know her name. I don't know her name or the sound of her voice yet. But when we share the same oxygen, our dualities will recognize our soul's frequencies. Sometimes the purest love is found unexpectedly. We meet by chance. Or was it abuelitas bendiciones? Finally reaching you at that exact moment in time. I asked the gods, give me some direction. Lead me to my love's salvation. She was a manifestation. Finally, I'm prepared to receive. Countless hours building up the courage, starting over from scratch, building a new foundation, brick by brick, facing fears, unpacking old trauma, forgiving yourself and others, finding your reason. And now I am ready to be rewarded with the love many have let slip through their fingers. But not me, not anymore. Without warning, she appeared, walking with purpose on the cobblestones of Cartagena. I desire café con leche, but was it really diverting me to your address? The coordinates, the imaginary longitude lines tracing hip to hip, or the angular latitude degrees from feet ascending up your well-defined legs, perpendicular, tilting the Earth's axis. Has he made a geographical error? I live 2,144 miles away. Is this where you want me to be? Is this who you wanted me to meet? You are in charge here. Who am I to question your lead? Her complexion is iridescent, glowing like the bioluminescent bays in Vieques, Puerto Rico. The way her sonrisa rises up her mountain dews, I'm climbing, fluttering butterfly wings, tickling my stomach lining. We may not be fluid in Duolingo, but our love languages whisper in collusion, offering invitations to become each other's homes. It only took seconds. Love at first sight. We laughed. Her laugh, tongue conducting her vocal orchestra, voice distinguished like a coquille. Pardon us as we steal moments away from the world. She was more than a pretty face. I'm panting, sweat soaked hat, not from the humidity, stuttering. It's from this queen who comes equipped with ambition, a passion for creativity, humility, a resiliency you cannot find anywhere, a rarity. Watching in disbelief is this reality of someone like her existing, a pure soul. Why am I even doing this? What's the point? Trying to describe in words what's really a feeling. I'm scared because choosing to be vulnerable, exposed to the elements with no protection, risking heartbreak could be catastrophic to a healing heart. But life doesn't promise smooth journeys, but it guarantees growth and the possibility of love, only for those who dare to tread its path. She was the answer to a prayer I thought would never come true. We met the day before my departure. Life has a funny way of humbling you, giving you a taste of what's to come and snatching it away. Or was it trying to make an impatient person patient? We hugged in front of the sea and didn't let go, as if it was an antidote, like we knew each other from a different life. As I leave on this flight today, my pinky promise is to forever keep you in my life. Poem.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God,
Yo,
Cyrus,
oh,
what
Cyrus, everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for old Cyrus.
Oh yeah.
a speed.
Yeah.
Amazing. We love you so much.
So cute.
I love
All
this
right.
voice. He's
I
got
opened
cool
the
ass
corner
sound
there.
voice.
Yeah, I love old Cyrus. I'm a daughter. Hey, so check this out. We got on deck Kenny Zant over here
I
sitting to my
appreciate
right. And then but stepping up to the plate next, we got my brother Nemo soon. Nemo, if you could unmute and bless us with some words, I greatly appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you, Thomas. And once again, Carl, that was an amazing set, although he may have stepped away. But amazing feature set. All right. I have two pieces. Everyone at this table is fighting to heal. Mary doesn't make eye contact while Billy sleeps in the corner. Tim is in the middle of his life story, and Susan wears long sleeves, but you still see the scars. Nobody can understand what Glenn is saying. The business we do here is the business of survival. Marcy doesn't talk to mend, while Mia has gotten clean again. Nelson asks Marcy why nobody cares. Edward keeps interrupting, and Elliot keeps rolling his eyes. Somebody is taking Nancy's lunch. We could all walk out, but we're staying here. Thomas can't stop shaking, and Patty smells like lavender and weed. Bobby's bouncing is triggering Tina, but Tina has nowhere else to go. Everybody knows Sandra's full of shit. I'll be here again next week. Some faces will be missing. Some faces will be new. Sarah says the only way to save her son is sending him to prison. Horace is trying to stay out of the hospital while Paula's meds make her feel dead inside. Becca wrote a beautiful poem about grief but couldn't finish it, so Joseph read it for her. Joseph is afraid to meet the souls he sent to hell. The phone on the wall won't stop ringing, but no one answers because no one knows what to say. Sad King John would like to say hello. Or Sad King John would like to confess. Sad King John would like to explain how he messed it up. Or Sad King John would like to show you the fragments and tell you which elbow did the bumping and offer to pay generously for the damages. Sad King John would like to stop being so loud. Or maybe he's too quiet. Or Sad King John would like to stop saying stupid stuff when he was trying to be nice. And what does nice mean anyways? Or Sad King John would like to sing, but he doesn't. Or Sad King John would like to apologize for how few lines he's written and how often he speaks them. Sad King John would like to create something beautiful. Or Sad King John would like to smash it all to bits. Sad King John knows why they left. Sad King John would like to watch the city lights blink and hear the hum of the cars passing by and be still. Or Sad King John would just like to say goodnight. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Everybody, do me a favor. Unmute yourselves and give all the love you got for Nemo soon.
Love you, Nemo. Yeah.
Thank you, Nemo. Really like how you read that second poem there. A lot of good feeling in that.
Thank you.
I'll love that. Everybody's
Closing up round one, we have a dear friend of mine, Kenny Zan. Kenny, you ready to read us some poetry?
I'm ready.
Let's see if we can see you. Oh, there we go. Hey, might need to come a little closer.
No,
There,
I'm there.
there you go.
I see myself. Oh,
All
that's psychedelic. I like
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So again, we all know my nerves. I'm still getting there, but I'm way more excited this week, far less anxious than last week. So this first one is called The Man I Married. He's doing the dishes on a normal Tuesday night. He doesn't know how much I love that. It's such a simple, necessary, and mundane moment. Husband doing the dishes, but the expression on his face is blank, and it makes him look so serious. The water splashes up his forearm a little and runs back down the length of his defined muscle there. He's still in his dirty mechanic clothes from a long work day, and the smell of oil, diesel, and sweat are on the air near him, now mixed with the smell of dish soap. My own mother thinks I'm cruel and lazy for not having the dishes done before he gets home, but it's a very guilty pleasure. This image of him will last me a lifetime, and it is delicious. I love the way the grease clings up the side of his beautiful forearms, chiseled by years of wrenches, pry bars, and semi-tires. The lines in his forehead tell stories of the life we've built together. His gray hairs now have a defined pattern along his defined and stern jawline, with an almost brooding expression. There's a furrow in between his eyebrows from raising our children. All this making him this housewife's wet dream. He doesn't like doing the dishes, but I still don't do them. I've caught myself asking people not to worry about it when they offer to do the job. Who's that?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I've caught myself asking people not to worry about it when they offer to do the job. It just wouldn't be the same. The power I feel when I walk up behind him and tickle or poke at his beautiful defined back is fun and a little bit exciting, knowing that he'll either suffer and squirm or cover me in suds, getting me, for lack of better words, wet. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. This next one. The rest of them are untitled. This is my only rhyming poem. I'm kind of proud of this one. I love him like water. I need him to survive. He is my water, my entire life. When I'm thirsty, I drink him in deep. He rehydrates my soul, and he knows all my needs. His heart is strong and his shoulders are broad. I worship him with my whole heart and body as though he is my God. He loves me completely. He raises me up. He always makes sure to fill up my cup. From time to time, he's noticed my sadness. He's noticed my longing. He's witnessed my madness. He's seen me try to find a connection, a companion of my own, as I am to him, a conduit for my expression. He knows he's my universe, my heart, and my husband. We are true lovers, and there is no end. So when I met you, he helped my heart open wide. I wanted to show you all that's inside. Look what he's built in me, and he says it's mine to share.
My host
job. Yep. He lets me freely. He agrees. Or sorry, backtrack. And he says it's mine to share. He lets me be free, and that's how he cares. He wants me to nourish my mind with everything good. He lets me love freely. He agrees I need food. You feed my soul, and your love is a treat. When you kiss me, I can't help but notice your lips taste quite sweet. I could eat your humor for breakfast every day of my life. Call me by my name, call me your lover, call me his wife. I have plenty of water and my cup overflows. Where all my love comes from, nobody knows. But with you in my life and him by my side, I no longer feel longing. I feel like I have real pride. I feel more complete. My pain starts to let go. My anxiety fades a bit, and my glow starts to show. I love you both. I'm not owned. I'm allowed. My heart is open, and I'm on solid ground. So please stay and love me, but also be free. It's natural. It can be beautiful. I love you. Please say you love me.
Man, I'm gonna cry too. I'm about to cry too.
Oh shit! Can we break?
We can breathe for a second.
Can you pass me one of those? Can you pass me one?
I've got two more.
Hold on, feed me. I got two more. Thank you very much.
Whoever needed the
I
most.
am
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was not expecting people to be here tonight.
So, yeah, you were so
Well, in front of an audience, you're perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I have to keep going.
Yeah, come on, we got a show. We running a show here. We got shit to do.
Sorry, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
There's two more. Everyone breathe. There's two more.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Breathe in.
No more rhyming though, I don't think.
Let's
Okay.
go. I like the right. I want more.
Sorry.
You're gonna be freestyling by the end of the night.
You said it. I've waited for you to say it. My heart melted. It was just a response to me saying it to you, though. And I say it all the time. I actually worry it's lost meaning when I say it sometimes. I've told you what I mean by it when I say it. I've told you what it means when I say it to you. But I don't think you feel it the same way I do. And if you do, it's likely intense and terrifying. What right do I have to say something like that so freely to you? What in my head and heart makes me feel like this? What right do I have to feel this way? It was so casual. It was so brief. It was in passing. Why did you say it here? I mean, why not? I know you don't feel comfortable in front of people saying and doing things like that, but I don't think you realized you said it. You haven't said it since. Is that better? Is it so precious that you're waiting to say it again, or was it mindless? Why do I torture myself? It's silly. I'm being a child. I don't need to hear it. I don't want it to feel forced, but I don't think you know you said it. And if you didn't know, please don't tell me.
Wow.
Okay. I was gonna clap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you, should I read the fourth one?
Go for it.
Do it?
I don't fucking know what you're reading.
Right?
Be free.
Yeah, you said it yourself in that other poem. Be free. I don't care. Just love me and be free.
Your eyes are where I live now. I swim in pools of green, blue, and amber, but when you look at me, I feel a chill come over my skin. I could drown here and I would have died content. Your laugh is my new favorite song, but the lilt and depth of your voice when you say my name takes the air from my lungs and wins me to where I can't speak, leaving me staring at you dumbfounded and silent. Your smile is a rare and priceless work of art. But when you smile at me, your lips pull me into an orbit that I can't escape, leaving me wanting to taste every word that dares to escape your mouth on my own lips as they exit yours. Your soul is a meadow in the early summer, but I feel your heartbeat quicken as I caress your skin, and I'm overwhelmed with thirst. I want to drink deep from your stream of your thoughts and get drunk on your ideas and musings. Your heart is a diamond, crushed under the pressure of our world, only to sparkle and play with the moonlight. But when you kiss me, all I see is stars, and well, you.
Yo, everybody, do me a favor. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Kenny Zane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you all. I'm gonna go have very, very, very fast couple drags off a cigarette. Have a great night. I need
Thank you
nicotine
so
in
much,
my
Kenny,
body.
for coming through.
Thank you.
Yeah, what an amazing night. I don't know. Oh, my lights are going out. I don't have.
Press the red button. Thank you.
Oh, hey, wait, no.
Oh shit! Now I'm knocking shit over. You're okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You just broke us all with the word. Yeah, we're gonna possibly continue on with the round two. Well, we got Whisper Poet in the house actually to close us out now. We have another poet who entered the building. Whisper, would you like to end off this show with a wonderful poem, please?
I love you guys. I miss you guys. And I would like to read Nemo. I'm going to read the one that I wrote about losing Lovely. Just a trigger warning for you. We haven't talked today, so I don't know what headspace you're in, but just trigger warning. The Charlotte community lost an irreplaceable person. This is called Loss. I need to talk. I want to scream. I want to hold your hands and start healing from this loss. But there's this ball of tears where my words should be, and I can't seem to string my thoughts together. I was not ready for this forever, and I know you weren't either. Bring me liquid plumber. Just portacath it into my heart because everything is clogged. I don't know how to process that they're gone. And this rite of passage just feels wrong. I don't want to be this age where I'm losing my friends in the same cadence as 401k statements. I choose to wear black. That does not give the universe license to double duty my clothes into funeral rags. I don't want to lose you. Pieces of my heart. This is not fun, God. I don't want to play last man standing anymore. Because what's the point of the end of the game when you're holding the flag alone? There's no joy in finishing the puzzle when the pieces have been lost. And all I can see is the them-shaped holes, like cavities that fill me with so much pain of missing them. One friend, 2 friends, 3 friends, 4. My friends are vanishing around me, and I don't know how to deal with this. Should I schedule grief on my calendar, like holidays and vacations? Should I be okay every night when the cash drawer of my life keeps coming up short of essential denominations? Is a life of division and subtraction what I have ahead? Is this reductionist future my destiny, to be surrounded by the headstones with no one to talk to except ghosts? Keeping eyes on the horizon for the next wave to roll in, a churning undertow filled with prayers, like broken shells that scratch my brain and my skin. I don't know how not to lose myself in mourning for what is now a circle becomes smaller. I don't fear my death. I see it as a transformation, and I'm not afraid of where they've gone. They are now in their future, with the pain of this one giving full exoneration. What it boils down to is my selfishness, because it hurts being the one left behind. It hurts being the one here without your face. It hurts to know you took your oxygen with you when you left, while I'm still here, breathing the vacuum of your empty space. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Whisper. Thank you so much for sharing that. I can feel your heart. I love.
And I'm sorry if that was triggering.
I'm losing my internet connection for a second here.
Thank you for
I
holding
love you, and I'm
was-
here.
That was triggering.
It was beautiful. It was heartbreaking. I
love you very
didn't
much.
find it triggering.
Thank you guys for holding space for me to share. I appreciate it.
I think that was very powerful
I'm
and
happy
moving,
to-
and the lines that you used and some of the imagery really reflected how you were feeling as well. So powerful. Good job.
Yeah,
I have one more.
I love you.
Um,
I'm sending all the love that I have for you.
Thank you, honey. It's I mean,
I might have somebody in co-host here. Because my comment.
it's weird to be in that place where like this is the new normal. Like I'm that age now. Weird and sad and awful. And anyway. Okay. One more short one. This is called The Impact I Crave. I stood at the edge of the water, waiting for the tide to knock me down. I needed the unequivocal force of the ocean. I wanted to feel that moment of dizzying vertigo when the wave recedes and sucks the land from beneath my feet. And all that's left are two shrunken mounds like humps of bone, as if I'm standing on my own carcass. Sometimes I fall. Sandy cuts and scrapes on my hands and knees, the hard grit of sand and shell digging deeper than my dermis into the pain layer where I am no longer numb. My mantra, throbbing within, I hurt, therefore I am. Salt water burns, purifying me as tribute for Poseidon. I welcome the battering of the sea because I need my body to match my heart. Thank you, guys.
That was gorgeous, Whisper. That line, I hurt, therefore I am. Oh,
Yeah, I know we've all had a slice of that pie in the past.
I'm sorry it's being served to you so many times in a row.
You know, we've all taken hits, you know. We have all taken some hits.
Beautiful poem, Whisper.
Thank you, Nemo. How are you tonight, darling?
Hanging in there.
I tried to
Grateful
call
for
you.
my fingernails.
I tried to call you, I think at like 2 a.m.
Something like that.
after we left Tailored Smoke. I tried to call. I dropped Shane off and then I tried to call you. Terry, how are you, beautiful?
Hanging on by a thread.
Oh, big hugs.
Me
Catalyst.
too. Thanks
My
for
God.
asking. I hope you feel better too. I know it's rough right now.
Thank you. Black Salt, how are you, my friend? I said, how are you, darling?
Did somebody? I thought I heard something.
I said, how are you, darling?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you.
Okay, I thought I heard something. I thought I heard Black Salt. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you, Whisper?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit disengaged here.
I'm sorry.
Whenever I do these online open mics, I'm always like plugged
Just
into
a
the
whole
matrix
bag of
somehow
black
with
salt.
either something. I always got something going on. I don't know. I don't know about online open mics. It's just like, well, now that it's an open mic, now it's a good time to do this, and that, and this, and that. I don't know what it is about open mics that I want to just like do everything else, but listen, to the poets. But I don't know.
I was just saying, I recently used an entire bag of black salt in my yard.
For protection, yeah.
Yep, I
Like
was
I don't
sitting.
know, or are you trying to like kill for protection, or are you trying to kill something,
I
or
was
like
setting
the
my
weeds or
property
something?
wards. I said I was setting my property wards.
Okay, sending your property what?
Wards.
Warts?
Wards. WARDS, wards.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good to see you, Whisper. I missed you so much. You beautiful, beautiful soul.
I've missed you too. I missed you too.
Now I'm so excited.
Mm.
We have a home.
No, I love that. That's so cool.
I'm like hot spotting right now for the show, so it's a little rough, but see, Boo and Kevin have showed up. Would you guys like to share some poetry with us tonight?
Yeah, Boo and Kevin and Carl. Hi, Carl.
Teacher.
I don't know if
What
I
did rewatch it because like wow. You can learn a lot from Carl. He's got amazing experience. Definitely rewatch this feature.
Okay. I just got back from a little walk around the lake.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, I found a dead goose. He was so cute. I'm actually writing a poem about him right now.
Aw.
Nice. Have anything that's ready to share?
If you want, I can share the first half with you that it's not done, but
Honk honk.
okay. It's kind of weird. It's like a little rhymey little thing, but it's like I don't know. It doesn't have a name yet, but I think I was meant to go this way. I found a dead thing again. Who munched on you? Who crunched on you? Now time to pick your feathers. A gosling, young and free, beautiful as can be, but find him plucked, not a feather still stuck to skin. I want some bones, some feathers too. How very few is left of you, but I thank you for the parts you've left behind. I grab what I can use, wondering how you died. That's all I have. But I love
Okay.
it. Oh my god.
That was awesome. And I could hear it played to like one of Black Salt's tracks. Like for sure. For sure. You should put that on and keep going and see what comes out.
I like it. I talk to things when I pick through them. So like I was just talking to him. I was like, who munched on you? Who crunched on you? And I was like, wait, that's bars. I wrote that down.
Right there. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. Well, I'm that one finished up. But yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
throw on one of the beats because it would just totally go to it. Like, oh, they're amazing. Collaboration happening.
I think Kevin had something. Maybe. He said maybe. But that's,
Evan, would you have something?
I have a few things that I'm working on, but I think I'm still ironing them out. I think I'm gonna bite my tongue this evening, unfortunately. But
Right. Well, it's still good to see your beautiful face.
it's good to be on. It's good to hear your guys' voices and be graced with your guys' presences.
Well, if anybody else has any more poetry they'd like to share, let me know and we can keep this thing going. Otherwise, I think we're going to end up wrapping it up. We've got some stuff going on here tonight, so I kind of sort of want to go and be a part of that. But Monday night, I will be back here. Hopefully you guys are around. Carl, I'm going to get Thomas to chase you down for that collab poem. He's going to be a little busy for a little while, but he will come through for that.
All right, thanks. I look forward to it.
Thank you so much for your feature. It was incredible. Like, you're
well,
so good at captivating a moment and sharing that with everyone.
Well, it took it a lot of years to get to this place, but I'm glad I'm here. And I was glad I could share with you.
I'm glad to bask in your experience.
Oh yeah, well, if you're ever in Pennsylvania, check it out. Check out. It's a cool
And thank
state.
you for coming out and reading poetry. You all did amazing. I'm so proud of all of you. Some of you are just starting out and some of you are making money at this. So I'm very
I've got
impressed.
another poem that I'd like to share.
Yeah. Okay. We're ready for you.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
This poem is called Just Another Poet. Here we go. You hear me okay? Not too loud, not too quiet. Okay, here we go. Just another poet. Just another poet. Will what I say here even make a difference? Will these punchlines even leave a mark? Could I really be the light in the dark? Just another Alice in a world of madness. Could I really be the one to lead the masses? Could I really be the one to take the shot? Could I really be the one to hit the sweet spot? Just another black man. Could I really make a difference? Just another woman, but could she really be the one to steal my heart? Just another magnificent piece of art, but will it get lost in the dark? And I'm just another poet. And yeah, I said it, and I mean it. Listen up and listen well, because what I say just might sell. And that is just another poet.
Oh yeah. I love your poetry. You're awesome, Black Salt. I feel like I remember when you were Black Silver, is that right?
Yes, Black Silver 47.
I remembered that. That's impressive for me.
And before that, I was Black Glitter.
Oh, I missed that phase.
So I
I'll have to
changed
look.
my name 3 times. This is the 3rd one I'm on, Black Salt WLF. The very first alias I went by was Black Glitter. Then it went from Black Glitter to Black Silver 47. And now I'm Black Salt.
Look at you transforming. I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that share. All right, Terry, would you like to share some words with us?
Sure. I have a lot of new pieces that I just started, so some of them are a work in progress.
Keep sending them out.
Yep. Hang on a second. I have to get back to where that was. That's it. Sorry, I need to scroll up. Okay, 1 second. There we go. This is about a little context. This is about an idea that I have to go around the country in a bus with a bunch of other poets or whoever wants to join me, and have T-shirts that say "free hugs" on them, and wear them, and then to actually do free hugs. Just go to different towns and just like do free hugs. And then it went viral. My idea. So this is about that. It was me who started this viral challenge, calling for a peaceful resolution. Desperate people do desperate things, calling for a revolution. Those criminals in charge, soon to be jailbirds, cooed, calling back to evolution. They brought Neanderthal caveman style of government, not seen since 40,000 years ago. Make love, not war, as an act of survival. My response was free hugs, T-shirts given to all as a positive solution. And with this movement comes great responsibility to honor the request vigorously. Call me a hippie at best, out of my original time frame, but the time for universal gathering has arrived again. We have a common enemy who threatens our basic human right to be happy. No weapon formed against me will prosper. What strategy is best to counter hate? Then with free hugs, or watch our animal farm lives become a desolation, a wasteland, picked dry by a bunch of fake news spouting wannabe politicians hiding in plain sight, puffed up in business suits, Nazi saluting in our faces, topped with millionaires who don't need our money. So how can they possibly be stealing from the poor and giving it to themselves? These MAGA red hat wearing angry birds got voted or bought votes in the presidential positions, preparing us for nothing they would admit to in Project 2025. So the ending needs a little work, but
Loving that one so far.
I wrote a poem about Winnie the Pooh Day, and I wrote an ode to honey. I don't know if I've read either one of those in here before.
Oh, you gotta share
And the
that.
right and the wrong way to poop is a good one. Did I read that one in here?
Please lay it on us.
I'll go there. I'm going there. Apparently, there's a right and wrong way to poop. Going into the new year, I hope that I learn to poop correctly. Heard a commercial for Squatta Potty. Successful poops are now available to everyone. To be honest, I never thought about the posture of my posterior as it perches precariously like Horton the elephant, who got into trouble, tricked making the impossible possible, heroically hatching the incredible inedible egg, unsuspecting, trying not to break branches with his insurmountable weight, where nest held the baby bird. To compare the process to giving birth can be an understatement because my struggles have been continual since a young child. Solutions offered were not ideal. Corn syrup, Fletcher's Castoria, and prune juice were pushed like drugs on me by my old school Nana. She knew the importance of being regular. They have since been replaced by coconut water, fruit, and an extreme avoidance of dairy. Lactose intolerance is an inherited allergy. I can only hope that my eulogy would not begin and terminally end on the bowl.
You cheeky little shit. That was awesome. I love Maybe we'll put that in the haiku at the end. Haiku
Yes,
book.
that's definitely in the book of Pooh whenever we want to do that. And then I have the other Winnie the Pooh about the other Pooh.
Excellent. Let's hear it. Let's keep
You want
it
to
in
hear
that.
Winnie the Pooh?
The other Pooh.
Okay, the other Pooh is Winnie the Pooh. Let me back up to Winnie the Pooh. A poem written in honor of Winnie the Pooh Day. Can't say much about the lovable bear except that he captured the hearts and minds of imperfect humans. The stories ensued, telling the tales of his struggles to get his daily sustenance, his beloved honey. His friends assisted him while living with psychological disturbances manifesting as fears, hyperactivity, and depression. Himself, the sticky sweet, holding it all together with his mate Christopher Robin, believed to be the author of his childhood adventures with his trusty bear. My mind goes to the scenes in the woods where the pastels of the sky overlooking the desired tree, holding the nest filled with bees, and Winnie bravely climbing, inserting paw into swarm and golden goop dripping, filling hungry mouth with elixir from gods. Bees, unaware of being swallowed, poke around in bear cave, stinging until mouth opened, releasing victims. His friends try to warn him of danger, but he cannot be swayed. The owl in the mix must represent the well-known absence of parental guidance, the common thread in Disney tales. Could this be an adult story after all, illustrating what is to come for the young boy? The consequences of proceeding without caution, never giving up on goals, to keep an eye on the prize, to accept and love your friends no matter what their idiosyncrasies, and the grown-up struggles of survival that awaits Chris, a warning to put away childish things, the undesirable trade-off known to every man or woman, and left no other choice to keep them all alive, but to document his childlike dreams. I messed the ending up a little bit, but oh well.
You nailed it as far as I'm concerned. That was beautiful. Who would have It was deep. I was not expecting it to be that deep. A poem about Winnie the Pooh. I was like, wow.
Sometimes I sit down and I don't even expect it to be that deep. I don't even know I don't know what overcomes me when I'm writing, but something definitely does. And because I feel like a split personality almost, because I feel like when I sit down to write or even create art, that something else is taking over me. And then when I'm done, I wake up from some kind of trance or something. And then I'm looking at whatever I created and reading it like, did I write that? Don't really, I don't remember writing that. Or if I do, like you must know this feeling. You go into that zone area right? The zone.
Channeling
And
of
it's
the
almost, yeah. It's like you're in some kind of trance and then you wake up from it when you have your completed or almost completed piece. In the case of me, it's never completed, but I'm always like fucking with it afterwards. But you know what I mean.
I definitely know what you mean. I've done that. I have, and I'll channel it for a little bit and I'll get a couple of words out and then it's gone. And so I'm stuck with these like pieces of incredible poetry that I'm just like, where did it go? I can't finish them because I'm either busy doing something else or another one comes along in tiny little snippets. So hopefully they're just previews and I can come back to them and re-channel
Yeah,
that dial.
that's what you do. You go back to it later. If you
It's
feel
just
like you're stuck, you go back to it later and you read it. Like if I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, but it's still not right, doesn't seem like the ending's right or something's like off, I'll read
Yeah.
the whole thing like out loud in my head, but out loud, like I'll see if it has a rhythm or something. And then where it starts to go off the rails or something, I'll be like, that's where it goes. I'll know right where it starts to go off the rails. And I'll be like, yeah, that's what needs to be changed around or something. So when I
Yeah.
read it and I stop there, I'll try like rearranging some lines or something and then see if it flows better. But if it still doesn't come together, then I just leave it and I wait, I'll come back to it again. Like I
I'm
don't
a
want
more
to,
I'll get
yeah,
this.
I don't want to get frustrated with it. Like I just want to feel like it's flowing somehow. But like one of those pieces I just read was not flowing towards the end there. And I know that I'm going to have to go back there and do something, but not today because I'm just not having it today. I'm sitting here not avoiding dairy, eating a bowl of ice cream. So I'm probably going to feel that later.
I am
Harry,
so
I
excited.
love how you refer to editing your poems as fucking with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, I'm
And
going to
now
shut the
I'm go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for if you made it this far, you're awesome. If not, you don't know what I'm saying. So have a good night.
Love